in your opinion, does FirstNet deserve a mid-band channel the way that they did the band 14?
Does it deserve? I mean, in theory, I guess.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get to is maybe not this spectrum, maybe not this band and this amount of spectrum, but do they deserve a mid-band channel dedicated to the service?
If you're going to give it away to the person or to the company that has, the FirstNet contract, I mean,
it's major. This is a big thing. FirstNet is a big thing.
I agree that it's major. I agree it's a big thing. I just question what makes AT&T deserving of more spectrum. Have they allocated the spectrum that they've already been awarded? Has it been fully deployed yet? That's debatable. So why are we rewarding them with another bowl of porridge?
Well, according to the contract, those things have been met.
All right. Well, then where's the investigation? If that was the case, Sneed, why is it being investigated?
Well, the investigation basically states that the rules put forth in the contract weren't good enough. They should have been tighter and tougher.
And there's an argument to be made that that's probably the case. I mean, again, it was a government handout. That's what it was. I mean,
all right, let me get Moose. Does FirstNet deserve a mid-band channel?
Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what I'm going to say. South Korea, KT, Korea Telecom, has the same type of network as FirstNet. It's a public safety, public service, directly funded partially by the government, mandated by the government. Other countries have came to AT&T. They've asked them how they have done the, build for FirstNet. Ukraine completely rebuilt their RF infrastructure based on FirstNet spectrum, based on the FirstNet build. N79, if you Google it, literally says public safety spectrum. That's what it's designated as in the FCC classification. So, if you're the government, it's a pretty simple situation what's going to happen. You've awarded a contract for 25 years. More than likely, it's going to be renewed, right? If nothing happens drastically that it's like, it gets screwed up to the point where they lose it. But the FirstNet contract was bid. There was RFPs from every carrier at the time. Verizon was included. Yes, there was politicking, but on both sides, because guess what? There's this thing called the U.S. Wireless Federation. That's the lobbying arm of all the carriers, right? And also there's lobbyists of all the carriers at Washington. How do you think the T-Mobile merger happened? Because they literally stayed at the Trump Hotel and they got the merger done.
Another government handout.
But anyway.
It proves my point even more.
FirstNet, with all the different capabilities that are coming online, Apple Intelligence, various other AI things that are going to happen, the drones that are required, the Vision Pro situation where you need augmented XR reality, right? Augmented reality, virtual reality, XR reality, right? Everything reality, right? Headsets, goggles. You might even have a situation soon like the Predator, the Predator drones or the Global Hawk, right? Where there's a guy in a faraway place that's flying and piloting the drone, but you're not actually on the damn thing, right? The same thing might happen for the FBI, for local law enforcement, for the Border Patrol, right? For the Border Patrol, right? This is all happening in real time, guys. Trust me, this is going to be big because guess what? They are adding a significant amount of cell sites at the border right now. Why? Because we all know what's going to happen. We all know. What is happening right now? There's millions of people that have been migrating over through the border, right? So what's going to happen if the Republicans win? there's going to be a massive surveillance situation. How is that all going to come about? Because of additional capabilities, additional capacity is needed, right, to fund those capabilities, and more cell sites are required at the border. So, does FirstNet need a mid-band?
Does it deserve
Does it
a mid-band
deserve a
channel?
mid-band? When FirstNet was first started, right, immediately after the September 11th situation, right, that happened, the first responders had congested cell phone access to the point where it was unusable. Okay? That's why FirstNet was created. But just as FirstNet was created back in 2001, or sorry, 2000, the idea came about right after the September 11, 2001 attacks, right? So does the evolution of the needs of first responders. The needs have changed. More capacity is needed. 10 by 10 is not going to cut it. So the answer is yes, they are going to need a mid-band channel. The question is it the public safety one that the FCC has already classified as public safety? Or, here's the crazy, I was even talking about this with Chacha Sneed prior to the podcast, is it 3.1? Is 3.1 designated as a 100
No
megahertz
way.
channel?
No
Right?
way, bro.
That's what
No
I'm saying.
way.
So do you take the 50 now and then auction off the 3.1, or you auction off the 50 and give them 100 of the 3.1?
But the 100 of the 3.1 is going to be split between the carriers through auction.
That's right.
And they've got to get that. They got to get that all sorted out with the DoD. This is a
Right.
big problem.
Right.
Take the 50, then auction the rest. Yeah.
Right. So I think what's going to end up happening is a pretty simple situation. FCC is going to say, well, FirstNet Authority, how do you feel about the contract? Do you guys need this additional spectrum? Right? It's a very, by the way, this is not a conversation between carrier to carrier and carrier to FCC auction. This is government entity talking to another government entity.
Correct.
That's the thing that people forget all
It's
the time.
agency to agency.
Exactly.
Or I should say agency to commission.
Great.
I'm about to say, wait a minute.
They're
So,
FCC, so the commission, right, is talking to the FirstNet Authority, right? And they're asking, the FirstNet Authority is asking the FCC, we need more spectrum from a first responder situation.